What's going on, conquistadors? It's Scotty, the chunky Spaniard, and it's been such a long week. Ha ha! Still not used to this. What's going on, conquistadors? That was the YouTuber, vlogger, fake out. I was so tired. I am really tired. It's been a super long week, but we are back for another back to school week video. It is for Friday, and now it's time for some magical chunky Spaniard music. Yeah! KD, welcome to the family. Dots on the ground. Boxes, teacher stuff, not important, right? Yeah, but you know what they say. Hashtag teacher life right now. What's going on, conquistadors? It is Scotty the Chunky Spaniard. Welcome back to Round Like Me. It is day 5 of our 5-day journey on back to school. And for this Friday episode, we're going to talk about how I survived my sophomore through senior year of high school. As if you've been following along on this journey this week, my freshman year of high school, I was down in San Diego County. I was a Vista High Panther, and during my freshman year of high school, found out we would be moving to Oregon, and we moved to Tillamook, Oregon. It's in this little pocket up in the top of Oregon, and just south of Astoria, where they filmed Goonies. And we made the long move to Oregon. And Oregon played an evil trick on me. The weather in Oregon played an evil trick on me that summer. It was an El Nino summer, and Tillamook in Native American stands for Land of Many Waters. There are 7 rivers flowing through this small town of Tillamook. And when I say small, back then there were about 4,000 people. There were more cows than people in this town. It was a dairy town. And logging and dairy was their primary, sources of, I guess, exports. I don't know. Of industry. That was their primary industry. And that summer, it was in the 80s. We spent the summer at the river, and I'm like, if it's going to rain all year and be warm in the summer and I can hang out at the river, I will do it. Like that, I'm good with living in Oregon. I also tried to go surfing my first summer there, just with board shorts on, and ran out into the water and almost died. This thing called hypothermia, because I was so dumb. Came running back in instantly, freezing to death. You'll definitely want a wetsuit if you go surfing up there. And my lips were blue, legs are blue, shivering. I was like, never doing that again. But moved to Oregon, enjoyed that first summer, kind of had an arranged friendship. My dad's secretary had a son that was the exact same age as me. His name was Chris, amazing musician. And so we became friends, kind of by force, but then based on our love of music and other things, comic books and superheroes and video games. I mean, man, you connect. And so we became friends. Problem was, when we got our class schedules, we had band, he played trumpet and I played saxophone, and we had the same lunchtime. We had 2 different lunch periods. And that was it. No other classes. And that was rough. You see, because people in Oregon aren't big fans of Californians. Some people called us flatlanders. They also didn't like the little tan dude from Southern California because I was scrawny. To put it in perspective, I'm only 5'8" now. I was shorter then. And by my freshman year of college, I was still only 123 pounds, and I was lighter in 10th grade when I moved to Oregon. So I was tiny. I was a little dude. And they let me know it, the students at the high school. They picked on me a lot. They pinned me down and would take my ID card and scratch out the 10, the grade level 10, and write in 9. They would, physically and verbally abuse, I guess, me. They were just bullies. It was like something out of a movie. We even had the full lockers like they have in movies. And everything was in hallways. There was no outdoor classes like I was used to down in San Diego. And everything was really self-contained, and they did not like me at all. There was this one specific group of boys, and they didn't like me almost the entire 3 years that I was there. It wasn't something that just lasted for like the first month where they really laid it on thick. I mean, I went home and I tell my parents, like, I just want to move back to Southern California. I want to leave. I can't hang. I'm not going to pretend like I was strong and I just endured and it all got better. It was tough. When you're getting bullied and it's constant and it's every single day in almost all your classes. And I had all these other positive things happening. That's the hard part, because when you're in this really dark place, that's all you see. Looking back at it, I wish I would have taken advantage of a few of the other opportunities. When I first walked into my biology class, the teacher was the varsity baseball coach. He saw me the moment I walked in, didn't even know my name. And he goes, "You're new?" And I said, "Yeah." And he's like, "You're a baseball player?" And I was like, "Used to be." See, I quit playing baseball my freshman year. I was kind of burnt out on it. I'd been playing since I could walk, and I was good. You know, I was a good ball player. And he saw that instantly when I walked in, and I wish I would have had the mindset to take him up on it or just try, because I do regret that. I do have those regrets. And that was a positive. I had my buddy Chris. That was a positive. I tried out for, you know, the chairs in band, and honestly, my band director in San Diego was so amazing. Like, he prepared me, and there was no one that could compare as far as saxophone skills. It was just one of those things where I don't think it wasn't this natural talent. It was just I had the schooling to prepare for this moment, and I blew everybody out of the water. So I was first chair all 3 years. No one, and I had a couple challengers my senior year, and it didn't happen. But I had a lot of good things happening. I had to take PE with my freshman year down in San Diego. I didn't have to take PE because I was in marching band. But moving to Oregon, we didn't have a marching band because it rains all the time. And so I had to take PE. And I was slow. In junior high, I was so slow. You know, I'm talking like 8, 9, 10-minute miles with semi-effort and with no hope of like getting faster. Even that freshman year when I had to test the mile, even though we were in marching band, we had to test the mile, I was slow. And one day in PE, we're running, because I was thinking like basketball is going to be my thing. And we're running, and I'm lapping people. And I felt like I was lapping people because I didn't care. I was like, I don't care. I don't care who likes me at this point. You're at that point, that breaking point where you're just like, I'm done with these people that keep messing with me. I'm just going to do what's best for me. And sometimes we need to get to that point, but not shut other people out. I think I was at that point where I was shutting people out. It's not a healthy place to be. And so I was just running, and I'm just lapping fools. I'm just going. And the PE teacher stops me, and he's like, "Did you go out for cross country this year?" I was like, "Cross country?" Because in my mind, cross country was for crazy people. Because who enjoys running? Who does that for pleasure and fun? I didn't say run for fun because I didn't want to rhyme. But really, who does that? Who runs for fun? No one. Okay? Yet. Yeah. Because I thought basketball was going to be my deal. I played basketball down there. I had developed this love of basketball. That's another reason why I kind of gave up baseball, because I thought basketball was going to be my thing. I practiced all the time. I watched Michael Jordan's Playground. It was this old video on VHS. I still have it. And would go out and imitate his shot and practice and practice and practice and free throws, you know, all night long, and dribbling and all of it. I thought I was going to be Michael Jordan. And so that also was a knock against me when I moved to Tillamook, because I'm in Portland Trailblazer country, and here I am sporting Michael Jordan gear all over the place. They also made fun of the fact that I wore Vans. Who makes fun of wearing Vans? I'm sorry I'm not wearing your cowboy boots, but I wear Vans. I mean, some of those people at my high school were wearing Tevas. They were these sandals with straps. They were wearing Tevas and socks. You're making fun of me for wearing Vans, and you're wearing sandals with socks? You 65? Huh? No. Don't make fun of my Vans just because you wear sandals and socks and sometimes cowboy boots, right? And you go hunting and you have elk in the back of your truck in the school parking lot. Really happened. True story. Yeah, not Trudy's, it's the true story, but true story of the Chunky Spaniard. So I went out for basketball, got cut. I was ticked. I was really, really ticked. Coaches didn't give me a fair shake. And I know that's easy to say, but I would ask them, like, what do I need to do? They would ignore me. What can I do to get better? They'd ignore me. They really did not like me. And all those boys that picked on me so hard, they were all on the basketball team. And so that made it even more difficult. And I'm sure that threw off some of my game even when I was trying out, because, again, you have a chance to push a guy and shove a guy because you're on a basketball court. They took full advantage of it. And they showed how weak I was, like, strength-wise. I was tiny. And so I got tossed around like a little rag doll. So my dad is in the grocery store one day talking to one of the managers, talking about how they moved and his son's having a hard time. And the manager of this grocery store says, well, your son should go out for swimming. I had swam, not competitively. I had done swimming lessons. That was it. And I remember as a little kid, my swim teacher would, have me race other swim teachers' kids at swim lessons. And they would, talk it up and be like, oh, this kid's going to beat your kid and he's so good and whatever. And I would win, but I thought it was just fun competition, like healthy competition. Wasn't a big deal. It was whatever. But my dad's like, you need to try out for swimming. I'm like, I don't know. And he's like, you need to try out for swimming. And he's like, what else are you going to do? Well, I wasn't going to do anything else. We lived up on this hill with hardly any other families, and there really was nothing else to do in this town. And it's one of those small towns where everything shuts down at a certain time. So it's not even like you go out and hang out and do stuff. And so I went out for swimming. I'll never forget my first swim practice because everybody else is in Speedos and I refused to wear Speedos. And I was wearing board shorts. That swim practice was so hard. People don't realize if you're not a swimmer or a wrestler, those are the two sports where you use every single muscle in everything you do. The most exhausting sports. And I was swimming. I couldn't lift my arms. After practice was so tough, I couldn't lift my arms. And that's not even an exaggeration. Luckily, our YMCA, that's where we had to swim, because our school didn't have its own independent pool, so we went and would run over or drive over to the YMCA down the road, a couple miles down the road. And I had to push the door open with my shoulder, those swinging doors in the front of the YMCA, and I had to have my dad open the truck door because I literally could not lift my arms to open the door. Got home, face planted on the couch, was out till the next morning. And I was like, I'm never going back. I went back. I ended up swimming all 3 years. And all 3 years, except for races, I refused to wear a Speedo. True story. But swimming is where things kind of turned around. I was okay. I wasn't the best on the team. We had 3 amazing swimmers on our team. And 2 of them were seniors, and 1 of them was a freshman. And the freshman was already being looked at for, like, Olympics. He was that good. The kid was as tall as me, so he's fairly short, maybe a couple inches taller, had size 15 feet as a freshman. And he basically had flippers for feet. And so they were the best. I was just an add-on. I was just someone that helped fill the relay team and do other stuff like that. But I improved and got better as the season went on. And then the school made this announcement of people that made these, like, kind of West Conference finals where people were going to have to travel to Idaho to compete. And it was this really big swim meet. And it was this really big thing. And they made the announcement over the loudspeaker. And they announced that I was on the team, that I had made that a team, right? Cheering moment. I walk out of class. I didn't hear the announcement. So I walk out of my whatever class period that was, and all these guys that had picked on me, all these guys that had messed with me are coming up and patting me on the back and are like, hey, great job, Scotty. Great job, man. Great job. Oh my gosh, so awesome. I'm like, what's going on? Someone else that I kind of knew came up and they're like, congratulations on making that swim meet. I'm like, what swim meet? Well, turns out I was not going to that swim meet. I was not that good yet. Oh my gosh, what a letdown. Talk about feeling like so good. These guys that have been picking on me, beating me up physically and mentally for months, were finally on my side, and it was all a sham. They didn't read the wrong list. Someone had just included my name on the list, and it was all a big mix-up. So after that mix-up, the bullying started again. All right, sorry, Conquistadors, a little bit of lighting changes, a little difference in the background, a little shift, only because of batteries dying, teacher interruptions, other things going on, because it's the chaos before school begins. But continuing on with the story. So after the letdown of that swim meet, the bullying just went right back to normal, and to the point where one day during math, the teacher took a student out into the hallway, our math teacher, and that group of boys that really loved to make my life miserable were in that same class, and they decided it would be a good idea to tie me up in my own hooded sweatshirt. Yes, you heard that correctly. They pinned me down on my desk, put my hood over my face, pulled the strings as tight as they could to where they were almost breaking, put my hands up by my face, tied the strings around there and tied it tight so I couldn't get out. And then one of those after-school special moments happened. One of the most popular girls in the school, one of the best athletes in the school, one of the most attractive girls in the school spoke up. Her name was Carol. And she was like, knock it off, guys. And they were like, whatever, you know, blah, blah. But she had enough power to where they actually left me alone that day. And she backed off and untied me. And just like in the movies, she untied me and I saw her and I was just like, oh, you know. But it was awesome. Carol was on the swim team. We became really good friends, and we're still friends to this day. She's a great person. But sophomore year was tough. I survived. I didn't do anything else that year other than music and swimming. But the next year I decided to go out for cross country just to try it out. Went out for cross country, made varsity, and did fairly well. So the last 2 years, my junior and senior year, I ran cross country, swam, and ran track. My senior year, I tried to play basketball at the same time and did really well in tryouts, to the point where the team and I were like picking out, like looking at shoes for the team shoes and uniforms and that kind of stuff, and acting like I was on the team. And then the lists were posted. And my name wasn't on the list. And come to find out, the basketball coach had gone to our swim coach and asked, how bad do you need him? And he said, well, he's our swim team captain and we need him. So I was bumped to swim. Just one of those things. It just happens. And it was a good thing because I actually ended up in the hospital that year with some weird infection that they had no idea what was going on. They thought it was appendicitis and something else, and so I was out for a week that winter season. But continued to do music, continued to do sports, branched out, was doing things I was not comfortable with, but put me in with good groups of people. And as the last 2 years went on, I became more well known. I was still the quiet guy, but everyone knew that I was cool to be around. Like, I was just nice. And it pays to be nice. It pays to, even in the face of getting bullied, even being picked on, you still need to extend kindness. And that's exactly what I did. And it paid off greatly. I'm trying to think. I don't know if there's anything else too eventful my last few years. I just settled into a groove. I had a good group of friends. I got really involved in a lot of different things to where I wasn't sitting at home alone, bored, and just kept myself busy. And that's kind of what you need to do. And I wasn't always the best student. I was really good at memorizing things. But my world revolved around music and sports. I did my senior year, we started a band, a local band, and we played. And that was a lot of fun. It was very interesting. We were a cover band, but I think that's how most bands start, is as a cover band, and played at some pep rallies and in the hallway and different things like that. And There's a lot more little stories in there, but this is really about how I survived those last years. And how did I really do it? I did it by staying involved, by staying active and staying the course. I didn't let things get me down. I didn't let the fact that these guys wanted to beat me up every day and still wanted to pick on me all the time keep me out of the things that I wanted to be involved in. Still, they called me a dork. Still, they made fun of me. But I didn't care. I just did my thing. Ended up lettering in everything for my letterman's jacket. And even ended up getting like the National Scholar Athlete Award and all around like athlete award because I was one of the most involved athletes along with academics, like straight A's. So it ended up being really good. We graduated. Our class was less than 100 people that graduated. We were the very first class not to graduate in the gym at the high school. We graduated in the show barn at the fairgrounds, at the Tillamook Fairgrounds. And they still continue that tradition to this day. The graduation is always held at the fairgrounds, which is really cool. But if you're going into high school, stay the course. Get involved. Find a group of friends. That group of friends will shift and evolve and change and expand and, you know, shrink a little bit. But don't fall into the trap of feeling sorry for yourself and getting down, especially if people make fun of you and laugh at you. Most of those people are really insecure about something else and they're fighting their own battles and you don't know what those are. So you worry about yourself and you take care of yourself. If it's really, really bad, then you need to go talk to somebody and find help. But, you know, just get involved, do stuff. Don't just stay at home and mope because high school, you only get 4 years of it. You know, some people have 5. But you only get 4 years and then it's done. I was just talking to a student yesterday and he graduated last year and just started community college and he wishes he was back in high school. He just graduated a few months ago and he's already thinking, I wish I was back in high school. It may not be the best time of your life, but it's a very important time of your life. And you learn a lot about yourself and a lot about how you deal with things and a lot about how you manage different things in your world. So, remember, conquistadors, be a better person tomorrow than you were today and get involved. Get out there. Enjoy school. Do your work. Get involved in a sport, drama production, music. Do something. Enjoy that time because it doesn't last very long and it goes really fast. We'll see you next time. Bye.